Hi friends, and welcome to a new podcast here on explorenorth.no. I'm your host, Jon Antrup. First, a little update. If you want to go sailing in the Arctic, learn more about sailing in the wintertime, maybe see a few orcas, humpbacks, Aurora Borealis, the famous Northern Light, you can join me or us in from October to December in and out of Tromsø or Skjervøy, where the big herring feast is taking place. So there will be an abundance of orcas and humpbacks. I promise you a fantastic sailing experience and a lot of learning points. But now we are returning to a friend of the podcast, Ella in the Arctic, which is also known as. Last year, she made a record, becoming the first British woman to sail solo through the Northwest Passage. She was planning to do a full circumnavigation of the Arctic or the North Pole, but it was too late when she reached the Bering Strait to continue through the Northern Sea route. So she wintered the boat on St. Paul Island in the Aleutian Islands, and now she's back, ready to go for a last stretch solo through the Northern Sea route. That's on top of Russia. So it's definitely going to be an exciting few months for Ella, and we're talking about the coming sail. So listen to this and maybe you'll be inspired. Not necessarily to do the Northern Sea route, but to do some cold weather sailing, because the effort is absolutely worth it. Enjoy. It's time for a new podcast. I'm at anchor in the southern part of Norway. And Ella, where are you?
I am on St. Paul Island in the Bering Sea.
Nice. And that's exactly where you were in September, a year ago.
Yeah, it's where I left the boat at the end of our Northwest Passage transit last year.
Yeah. How do you like the island?
Oh, I love the island. It's a love-hate relationship. I love the island and the people, but I hate the weather. I don't think we've seen the sun in about 3 weeks. It's just been fog, consistent fog all around the island. So, it's slightly tiring.
But you have to tell us where St. Paul is.
Yeah, so it's one of the Aleutian Islands, sort of. It's a Pribilof island, so it's about 2 days north of the Aleutian chain that comes off of Alaska. So it's kind of halfway between Alaska and Russia in the Bering Sea.
Yeah, and that area is pretty much known for bad weather, right?
Yeah, bad weather. It's where they filmed the Deadliest Catch TV series. So the supermarket on the island actually has some of their merchandise for sale. So you get everything from really rough seas and strong winds and rain to fog, just endless fog and calm weather as well. So yeah, challenging.
Yeah, and after the Northwest Passage you did last year, you had to leave her on St. Paul, Jeva. And
Yeah,
because
so
you couldn't get any further because of storms, right?
yeah, so it wasn't ever the plan. To be honest, I didn't even know that St. Paul Island was here until a few days before I got here myself. So I'd left Nome with the intention of sailing the boat to Homer to lift ashore there, because that's where all the other boats were going that I'd heard of, and the only place we were told there were facilities for lifting. And on my way to Homer, just before I crossed the open water between on the way to the Aleutian Islands, there was a storm coming through there that was quite violent. So it was what, 1,800 miles to get from Nome to Homer. So I figured, what's another 256 miles in the wrong direction to go to this little island with a harbour that I could see on the chart. So I altered course to come here and ended up staying here for a week, waiting for the weather to clear up. And in that time, this wonderful guy called Edward Paulus came down to the boat, who works for the CBSFA, the Central Bering Sea Fishermen's Association. And he said he reckons he could lift the boat out with their hydraulic trailer here. which ended up saving me, another 1,000 miles in the wrong direction trying to get to Homer. So it worked out in the end. It's been a really wonderful place to leave the boat because they've been so supportive here. So the CBSFA are actually going to put some stickers on the boat and become honorary sponsors of the expedition now for all they've done to look after Yeva over the winter. So
Nice.
it's
And
been
how
good.
was she when you came back?
Yeah, she's good. She's there was a leak in the ceiling I had to fix, so a little bit damp inside, but I've sorted that out. But good. I'd spent quite a long time winterizing her before I left, so it looks like all that preparation sort of paid off, and there's not been too much to do this year. New anti-foul, a couple of leaky bits to sort out, but pretty good.
So how have you been spending your days? The 3 months you've been on the island.
Yeah, I've been doing well. The anti-foul took quite a few weeks because I was working around the weather.
Yeah.
So I was looking back at some of the videos I made, and I was anti-fouling in the snow, a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago. But yeah, mostly just fixing the boat and doing a lot of filming for the documentary. So I've been touring the island either by foot or in people's vehicles when they've got time to help out. I also set up some interviews for the documentary with some of the locals and the elders from the Aleut community. So that was really cool. And then yesterday I hosted an open day on the boat, so all of the community could come down and see what the boat's like on the inside, and I could answer their questions about, sailing and life and the equipment. So yeah, keeping busy, keeping entertained, but I am hopefully leaving on Sunday or Monday. So
Nice.
leaving soon, yeah.
Leaving soon. And that's a good weather window?
I'm not sure. So the ideal day for leaving, so basically I've been counting backwards from my start date for entry into the Northern Sea route from the Russians is August 10th. So counting back from there, if I want to be there on the morning of August 10th, I've got to leave here August 3rd, which is Monday. So come sort of Friday evening, Saturday morning, I'll start looking at the weather forecast. It's so inaccurate here that there's no point looking at it half a week in advance. But yeah, any day from Sunday onwards is good to leave. So I'll just pick the best weather window and then head off. Yeah.
How has the Russians been? Because you had to delay your permits a year, didn't you?
Yeah. So last year, obviously, I had the permits and the approval to go through, but it was, the Russians said, we strongly advise that you don't, because the ice was starting to settle back in again. And when the Russians say we strongly advise, it's more of an order than an advice. So that's why I postponed the second half to this year. Which in hindsight I'm quite grateful for, because so much went wrong in that first half. I was bloody knackered by then anyway. But they've been great again. So I've got all the permits and approvals again for this year. So they even said in one of their emails when I was getting the permission from the Northern Sea Route Administration, they said in the bottom of their email, we look forward to helping you achieve your circumnavigation dreams this year.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, they've been really, really lovely about it. So
sounded like a marketing firm, not a Russian governmental department.
Yeah, I know. I think Russia's always been everyone's biggest sort of question about this whole expedition.
Yeah.
But the interactions I've had with them, I've got nothing negative to say. They've been really supportive and amazing. So, it's maybe a slightly unwarranted reputation for, at least for the Northern Sea Route Administration. They're not the same guys as run the politics of the country. We can't get them all confused.
No. Oh, that's cool. And you have, because I made a podcast with Harry Anderson.
Yeah, I listened to it.
I haven't done it with Matt Rutherford yet, but and they're coming. You're going to meet them halfway-ish, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon. So, last time I looked at Matt's tracker, he was coming over the north of Svalbard because he's trying to slow himself down, right? He's going to get there too early otherwise. And Harry, I think, plans to make landfall in Norway before setting off.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully I'll see them both at some point along the route. With Matt's trajectory coming around northern Svalbard, if he goes straight from there around to northern via Zemlya, he could get sort of more than halfway across the Northern Sea route before I'm halfway. You know what I mean? But we'll meet in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
And you're in communication with the guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt less. Harry quite regularly. We
Yep.
email quite a lot. I had a nice email from Matt the other day, just wishing me the best of luck with the voyage. But we've not shared as much as Harry and I have. Yeah.
Oh, oh, it's kind of nice that 3 boats, solo sailors, are trying the Northern Sea route at the same time.
Yeah, it'll be crazy if we all pull it off. I hope we do. I hope everyone finishes safely.
Yeah.
But to go from no solo sailor having made it the whole way across to 3 in one season, just showcases even more how much more accessible the region's becoming, right? So,
Yes,
yeah.
it does. It does. What lessons from the Northwest Passage are you taking with you into the Northern Sea route?
I think the biggest thing that I learned is managing my own sleep deprivation. I always knew that was going to be one of the biggest challenges of the whole trip, but it really did take its toll on me last year. I think the benefit of the Northern Sea route is that it's a lot more coastal sailing, so there should be more opportunity to heave to or get longer rests than in the Northwest Passage. But I need to make sure that I recognise my limits when I know that I'm at them, instead of pushing them like I did last year. Any time that I felt like I was overly T&E, tired and emotional, was more oftenly based on lack of sleep. And that does cloud your judgment. So, yeah, I'll be making sure I get my rest as
Yeah.
much as I can.
When you finally got back home after the Northwest Passage, how long did it take to get you totally up to 100% again? To get
Months.
you well rested?
It actually took well over 2 months. I ended
Yeah.
up on medication to sleep through the night because I'd been in those 20-minute sleep cycles for so long. I hadn't had a REM sleep cycle,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't sleep through the night to save my life. So yeah, I ended up having to medicate a little bit for a week just to get back in the swing of it. It was a huge toll.
Yeah.
So.
But now you're back and
Now I'm
ready
back,
for it
ready to
again.
go. Yeah, I think the trauma's worn off.
Yeah.
Just trying to remember why I love it. So yeah, no, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to finishing what I started at last, and I do enjoy being out there. But I'll also be looking forward to a little bit easier sailing after this, I think, for a while.
But in general, sailors have very short memories, don't they?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it only takes seeing something beautiful
Yeah.
to forget what was terrible an hour ago.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a recurring theme with the Northwest Passage. Every time that I thought that I'd hit rock bottom and reached my limits, then you'd see like a polar bear on the beach or
Yeah.
a whale or a seal or something that made it all worthwhile again. So you forget about it quite easily.
Cool. Any changes to Yeva? Your boat?
No, not particularly. Not since last
No.
year. It was proven to work, so I'm sticking with it. New anchor chain, some fiddly bits, some just general maintenance and TLC, but no changes in the major equipment or planning of the boat. So
That's nice. That's
yeah,
comforting. Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with her. I mean, we spent so many years preparing the boat before I left
Yeah.
England, that I would have been surprised if I'd got here, if I'd got halfway around and found something that was unsafe to continue with.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling quietly confident. Yeah.
Good. Are you planning to stop along the way?
Yes, I plan to actually stop in Providenia to clear customs, so
Yep.
that I have the opportunity to stop over Russia if needed. I don't intend to stop anywhere other than Providenia to check in and Murmansk to check out, but I want to be able to have that option. So I'm going to make sure I clear customs and do it the right way. And then there are places like Pevek and Dixon where I could pull in if there's an emergency. But ideally, I plan to do it as quickly as possible. There's quite a limited window of opportunity to get through there. And as amazing as it would be to see some of the communities up there, most of my reasons for stopping in communities in the Northwest Passage were to either get fuel or to get shelter. And hopefully I won't need too much of either. So we'll see.
So when you check into Providenia, you can basically anchor or go ashore anywhere
Yeah.
along the Northern
Yeah,
Seaboard.
that is the plan. Yeah.
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 Cool. And you're the only one that does it like that, because neither Harry or Matt, they're doing it one shot, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so both Harry and Matt intend to do it non-stop. I
Yeah.
don't think Matt even intends to drop the anchor. I think he wants to just do it completely non-stop, which is fair enough for the both of them. There are other hoops to jump through that come with doing it the way I'm doing it. So there's another level of paperwork and administration to go through. Whether it's worth it or not, I want to have the security of doing it. My trip's no longer a non-stop trip. On the off chance that they do allow me to do filming and stuff like that, I think it's a really there's a really good opportunity there to see a part of the world that's just not really documented or witnessed. And I would love to. I'd hate to miss the opportunity to do it if I've got the time and the weather. So yeah, I plan on stopping, and then we'll see. I mean, the only boats that I know of that have done it crewed, that is the way they've done it as well. So yeah, might as well learn from people before us. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Matt and Harry get on without stopping, trying to get through completely non-stop.
Cool. What's your time frame?
So I think it's going to take 5 or 6 weeks across Russia. If I was doing, I literally just did the passage planning the other day. So it's 3,200 miles from Providenia to Murmansk. So if I was doing 5 knots, 24/7 non-stop, it would take just under 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not realistic. It's 3,200 miles, and my fuel capacity on the boat is about 1,000 nautical mile range. So I'm going to have to be quite conservative on my fuel consumption, make sure I'm saving that for the ice fields. So there'll be days when, if there's not a breath of wind, I'm not going very fast or anywhere at all. So I think it'll take maybe 5 or 6 weeks to get to Murmansk. I'll clear out of customs in Murmansk. And then I've got the choice whether I sail straight into Vardø in Norway if I need a rest, or whether I just carry on around the top and get to my finish line. I'll see what the weather's doing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to finish the whole circumnavigation was sometime late September, maybe early October.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring the boat back down the North Sea to England. So, yeah.
Nice. What's the ice conditions looking right now?
Well, it's taking a while to move off the coast. So my permission to enter the Northern Sea Route, like we said, starts August 10th. But the Northern Sea Route Administration have advised that I consider starting even later than that. I don't want to start later than that because I'd like to get home eventually at some point. So I plan on being there on the 10th, and then we'll see what happens. But it's still, the ice is still against the coast in 2 locations in Russia, 2 sort of pinch points around some of the islands that sit north of the mainland. So yeah, hopefully a route south of that ice has cleared up by the time that I get there. But those are the 2 pinch points we're looking at waiting for at the moment.
Do you think this Northern Sea Route will be easier than the Northwest Passage?
I think it will have its own challenges, and I think it'll be easier in some ways. So I think obviously trying to clear in with customs in Providenia with me not speaking Russian, that's going to be something to overcome. I've had to download Google Translate languages on my phone so I can use it without the internet and stuff. I think the possibility for getting bad weather is quite high, just like it was in the Northwest Passage, but the opportunity for shelter is less. There's a lot less islands and places to go, and when you get too close to the coast, a lot of it is silt and untrustworthy charts. And I learnt my lesson in the Northwest Passage not to mess with them so much. So there might be a little bit more. I mean, I haven't sailed on my storm sails yet on the trip so far, so there might be an opportunity for them to come out of a locker. But I think, I think getting rest will be easier, being able to hove to, having a bit more sea room. We'll see. Yeah, I think it'll have its own challenges, but there's a lot that I've learned about me and the boat and the equipment from last year that hopefully I can make mine and the boat's experience a little bit easier at least.
Are you looking forward to the sailing, or are you mostly looking forward to getting home?
A bit of both. I think the difference with this year is that every mile that I travel is going to feel like a mile closer to home, whereas last year it just felt like I was getting further and further away.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to go hand in hand. I'm going to enjoy it more because it's the home run. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a little bit apprehensive about some of it for sure. So I'll be glad to do it, but I'll be glad when it's over too.
Cool. Your documentary, have you started making it?
Yeah, so I took all of the footage from last year back to England with me and gave it to
Yeah.
the documentary team. I
Cool.
think it was something like 11 terabytes worth of footage, just an insane amount for them. So I think they're probably still working through it now. So I'm going to bring them a whole new lot before they finish the first half.
Yeah.
But they're working their way through that, and hopefully we can put that together next year when this is all done.
Yeah.
The plan is still to auction Yeva in the spring.
Yeah.
So there'll be a bit more filming happening in the UK when I get back. And I've been approached about a possible book deal for the exhibition. So
Nice.
that's something to figure out again when I'm back, when it's over. But there's been whispers in the wind about that. So that's quite exciting, hopefully.
Yeah.
So there should be plenty to work on next year when this is all over anyway.
Sounds like a good idea. A movie and a book. Yeah, because you've racked up quite followers, quite a few.
Well, in the grand scheme of social media, not really, but for a independent sailing account,
Yeah.
I've got, I don't know, maybe about 6,000 followers across both
Yeah.
pages so far. So considering I left England with like 200 or 300,
Yeah.
it's quite a nice growth. But I think that might pick up more at the end. You know,
Yeah.
people tend to learn more about this sort of adventure when it's been completed rather than when it's ongoing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see the involvement and the interactions online.
Yeah. Cool. But how are you gonna do the communication during the Northern Sea route? Because Starlink is off the table, right?
Yeah, well, I've never had Starlink on the
No.
boat. I chose not to take it because originally I thought I'd do the circumnavigation in one season, and it didn't
Yeah.
make sense to have something so expensive that only works for half of the trip.
Yeah.
So the communications partners of my expedition are Iridium, who
Yeah.
are sponsors, and the Iridium will work over Russia.
Nice.
So all of the videos that people see online from when I'm sailing are videos that I film on board. And then we actually use the Iridium to send that footage back to England.
Yeah.
And then it's the team at the offices in London, in England, at capital.com who edit those videos and post them on social media. So when you see the Instagram updates and things whilst I'm sailing, they're not actually from me being online. They're from the guys in London being online.
So, as opposed to Harry and Matt, you're probably the only one that's gonna send things off the boat on a regular basis then, because of your Iridium deal.
Yeah. I don't know what Matt and Harry's setup are for. I'm assuming they're using Starlink. So
They're using Starlink. Yep.
yeah, okay. Well, I don't know what backup they've got to get their info all out there, but yeah, if they haven't got the same sort of setup with Iridium, then I might be the only one putting out regular videos from the Northern Sea route. I guess we'll see. But I hope they've got some form of Iridium to get their weather forecasts and their ice stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. I think they have the basic one. So we can expect the same amount of content from you.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely. Those videos will start when I set sail from here in the same sort of format we did them last year. Yeah.
Very cool.
Definitely.
What kind of feedback are you getting?
Feedback from the videos?
Yeah, in general, actually.
It's all been pretty positive, to be honest. I think the way that I've tried to be very transparent on social media and very honest with the good, the bad, and the ugly has been really well received. People like knowing about what goes wrong just as much as they like knowing about what goes right. So yeah, I've had really lovely positive sort of encouragement and feedback, and I've been invited to do some other pretty cool projects based off the back of this one. So Next year, I'll be part of a sail around the Isle of Wight set up by the Little Ship Club in London, as one of they called it a lead celebrity skipper. Now, I'm not, I don't know, I don't know about using the word celebrity. I think we're a bit early in the game for that. But the two of the skippers that did it this year were Mike Golding and Robin Knox Johnson. So to have been invited to be one of their skippers for next year is pretty cool. So yeah, it's being well received.
Cool.
Yeah.
And during the winter, you've held a lot of lectures, haven't you?
God, loads. Yeah, yeah, loads. Talks and interviews, podcasts like this. Yeah, I was keeping myself busy over the winter. But it was amazing to see how many people wanted to hear the story of what essentially was a failed attempt at a non-stop circumnavigation. People still wanted to hear about it, and I think partly because it was also a British record, right? So there was a lot of interest in England about that and representing that. But I left the Northwest Passage sailing down to Nome feeling utterly deflated and disappointed. And to have such a warm welcome and such a huge amount of interest in the project when I got home really helped to pick me up and realise that actually I didn't do that bad.
No. But you don't see it as a failed attempt, do you?
I don't know. I'm in two minds about it. I always knew that attempting the circumnavigation non-stop in a single season was a hell of a big ask. And none the least because sailing through the Northwest Passage was the second time I've single-handed any boat anywhere. So, I was setting off for quite a big challenge. I am proud of what I did achieve, and I'm happy to be out here to finish it again this year. But yeah, there was an air of disappointment that sort of clouded the end of that passage last year.
Yeah, I can understand that on some level, but it was a big achievement.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've come to terms with that a bit more now.
Yeah,
so.
Good. What are you mostly looking forward to for the next?
Oh gosh, the peace and quiet. Being out there alone again. I'm looking forward to the wildlife. It was such a highlight of last year. I don't know how much more abundant or less abundant it is over Russia, but I look forward to finding out. And I look forward to hopefully some northern lights over Norway when I get back down that end. September, October time should be about right to see some of them as well. So, just the solitude and the wildlife, my two favourite things.
And you said when you get back, you have a lot of things to do, but what are you mostly looking forward to?
Cuddling my dog and drinking a glass of wine. I miss my family a lot, and obviously this was never supposed to take 2 years, so it's a big ask of mum and dad to look after my little fur baby again for another summer. But I'm looking forward to being able to say that I finished what I started, and I'm looking forward to auctioning the boat and completing the whole sort of idea behind this trip. And then I'm kind of looking forward to a new project. I don't know whether it'll be a sailing one, whether it'll be a land-based one, but something else new and exciting, hopefully, in 2027 or 2028.
So you don't have any sailing project lined up?
Not any big ones. There's a few, murmurs here and there about potential collaborations and stuff. But for me, I think sailing is a means to an end. Like, it's a way to get somewhere that I want to see, and it's a way to enjoy the Arctic. But the reason I'm sailing around the Arctic was born from fascination for the Arctic rather than for sailing. And there's a big part of me that has always been fascinated by Mongolia, which is not really somewhere you can sail to. But I used to train horses professionally before I got into this, and the thought of maybe riding solo across Mongolia is something I've been tinkering with in the back of my mind. So I don't know. I won't ever leave the water for good. I do love sailing, but there are other places in the world that I want to see as well. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
But you're definitely not aiming for a job behind a desk, it sounds like.
No,
No.
no, absolutely not. No, as long as I can keep traveling and keep moving, then I will. So there'll be more adventure. I just don't know whether it'll be on a boat or on land or both. You know,
Yeah.
I'm open to all ideas. So
Cool. Very
yeah.
cool. How is tell us about the auction of Jeva. How is that
Yeah.
gonna do? Go.
Yeah, so the plan has always been to auction Yeva at the end of this and donate all of the proceeds from the auction to two charities, Polar Bears International and Ocean Conservancy. So my plan is to get back to England sometime probably late October, maybe even early November, depending how rough the trip down the North Sea is. And then I want to probably lift Yeva ashore in a shipyard that we're used to using in Portsmouth to give her some TLC, fix up some things that I've put plasters on that could do with a proper fix. And then we'll launch her again in the spring and hopefully host the auction at the lightship at Haslam Marina. So everyone can see Yeva on the dock alongside the lightship and then come on board for an auction. There'll be other stuff at the auction as well. I've spoken to painters and jewelry makers, and there'll be plenty to bid on that's not the boat if that's out of people's financial scope. But any money raised at the auction will be donated to charities. Those two charities working in Arctic conservation, and then the new owner can set sail with the boat, and I will be homeless, jobless, boatless, campaignless, and ready to figure out what to do in my 30s.
Yeah, you have your dog.
Yeah, that is the plan.
Yeah, and that's it sounds like you're happy with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the boat. But it was always the idea behind the project, and it's always been what I consider my way of giving back to the Arctic for my own time spent here. And realistically, when sponsors aren't helping, I can't afford to keep a boat in the south of the UK anyway. So I'll miss her. I've poured a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that boat. But hopefully we can do some good for the Arctic by selling her. So
now you've done when you've done a lap of the North Pole, you're not thinking about doing a lap of the South Pole then?
not particularly, to be honest.
No.
It's it's not entirely off the cards. Never say never. I don't know if there's been a woman that's done both solo. Something to consider. Well, no, because then someone would have had to have done the Arctic, right? So someone hasn't done both yet. Oh gosh, they're going to put in another idea in my mind now. I don't know. I think for me it's the Arctic itself that had that special sort of just something that I wanted to come and see and experience. And Antarctica, I haven't got that same sort of pull for. I don't know. We'll see. Never say never.
Never say never. Anything particular you want to say before we end?
Honestly, just thank you for having me again. I really appreciate it.
No, it's really fun.
We'll have to talk when I get back from Russia.
Yeah. We definitely have to talk when you get back.
Yeah,
definitely. I'll be following you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Hang on.
Hi again, sailors, and thank you for listening to this podcast. You will find more podcasts on explorenord.no, both in Norwegian and in English. If you want to know more about sailing in cold waters, I can highly recommend, without blushing, the book I wrote together with Bob Shepton. It's called, surprise, surprise, High Latitude Sailing, Self-Sufficient Sailing Techniques for Cold Waters and Winter Seasons. It covers pretty much everything you need to know to get out sailing the whole year round and sailing to remote places in the world. You'll find it, you can buy the book on explorenord.no, on Amazon, or have your bookstore order it. If you're interested in Svalbard, I also wrote Sail to Svalbard. You can buy them at the same places. So please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions at all. You'll find me on explorenorth.no. In the meantime, go out sailing.